your host and current content marketing intern, Lauren Pearson, and today I have Jeff with me. I'm so excited to talk with you today. And before we begin, I will pass it over to Jeff to introduce themselves.
Thank you, and nice of you all to have me as a guest today. My name is Jeff Snyder. I am an autism, neurodiversity self-advocate and public speaker. I am based in Seekonk, Massachusetts, near Providence, Rhode Island. So a little bit about myself. I was first diagnosed with autism at 21 months old in December of 1990, and then I was nonverbal until I was 4 years old. And then upon my graduation from high school in 2007, I became the first neurodiverse student to have completed an education from pre-K through grade 12 without coming from other towns and school districts. I have been living in my own apartment since January of 2015. And then I also run a website called Going the Distance, which serves as my hub for my autism and neurodiversity, for my self-advocacy and public speaking services. And then, and also I am a core team leader for the Autism Tree Project Foundation in San Diego, California. And just recently I was appointed to the board of directors for the Unicorn Children's Foundation in Boca Raton, Florida. And last but certainly not least, I am a contributing author to the book, This is Autism, by Jessica Leichweiss and Aidan Allman Cooper, that is currently on Amazon.com for $19.97.
Awesome. Okay. Now we'll head into our questions. So the first question is, how does your neurodiversity allow you to perceive the world differently?
Well, my neurodiversity is very, it allows me to do things that neurotypicals cannot, such as, being, wise about particular subjects, and also having hobbies and passions that may otherwise not be able that others may not realize that they have. And one thing about my neurodiversity, about my autism, is that sometimes sometimes I try to view it more as a blessing than a curse. I think a lot of people sometimes will see autism as a curse, and that, that the child will never amount, that the individual will never amount to anything. And that is that unfortunately is what a lot of people sometimes tend to believe in. And there's also all these myths about, that there's a cure for autism, and, that it's a disease. Well, it's not. It's a neurological condition. And my goal as a self-advocate and public speaker is to share my story about growing up on the spectrum, so people can view autism for what it truly is, and not as what others may think.
That's incredible. I love that idea of changing, the ideology of people viewing it negatively, because I feel like often we view our differences as something that's bad, but really it's something that makes us unique and it can contribute to our strengths. So I applaud you for that. So to kind of go into our next question, at Mentra, we believe neurodivergence is an asset rather than a weakness. And we kind of coined this term called neuroexceptional talent, which kind of refers to your unique strengths that no one else has. So in lieu of that, what is your neuroexceptional talent?
Well, my neuroexceptional talent is that again, I'm very good with sharing my story, and I'm also really good with traveling. Traveling is one of my it's one of the ingredients that makes going the distance what it is. And of course, and I will say that as of this interview, going the distance is 80% virtual and local, and 20% travel and in person. So really, it's but really, my ability as a traveler is that I do things that a lot of other neurodiverse individuals cannot. And, of course, there's, there's the financial side of things, which I consider, finances are like the blood that goes into going the distance. And, without the financial side of going the distance, then, the blood doesn't flow and it cannot produce. And so that's one aspect. And then the other is, just getting up there and telling my story. I've done several, mostly virtual speaking engagements, although I have done some in-person speaking engagements. My recent one being in Jacksonville, Florida, back in May. So, it's really more about that neurodivergent aspect. And I'm not trying to say that, people should, get up and speak, but get up and, share their story. But, it's really more about, I always say that, it's about finding the fit more than forcing the fit. And I think a lot of neurodivergent individuals either are forced to find the fit by others or being forced to fit or forcing themselves to find the fit. That's not true. And one thing I've never taken for granted is that, sometimes you just even have to have limits with what you do as a public speaker. You don't want to be, stretching yourself out too thin. And unfortunately, a lot of people do that and they crash and burn and they result in autistic burnouts. So that's something that, again, that's my strength as what I do. And that's the heart of, going the distances, never take anything for granted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. So kind of to go into our next question, how do you empower like neurodivergence in your job and your advocacy efforts?
Well, my day job is I am a janitor. I'm a janitor, porter for a major supermarket chain up here in the Northeast. And the big thing about having the job that I have is something that I recently started taking in not too long ago, which is staying in your lane. Because if you stay in your lane, then you can get your job done. And unfortunately, one of my biggest weaknesses of my day job is that, and this is something that goes back way back when, is that I'm a people pleaser. And sometimes I'll get like 4 different people ask me to do 4 different things at once, and it can be overwhelming sometimes. And I think it's as hard for me as it is for some people to understand, and it's hard as it is for myself. Sometimes you just have to you have to take you have to understand about yourself and not go bend over backwards for people that don't take care of you. And that's a big weakness that I have as an individual. And I try to take that into my self-advocacy, which is, if people want me to, help, want me to talk to their organizations or talk to, or talk to, their people, then they can come find me. I mean, it's more about people coming to me rather than me reaching out to them, because then, I'm not overloading myself with, mundane speaking engagements. And a lot of these, some of these, may not be the right fit. They may not be the best audience. And it's more about finding the fit rather than forcing the fit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that mindset. I think it's a great way to look at it. So to go into our second last question, for neurodivergence that are looking to get a job, what would your advice be?
Well, my recent in-person engagement was about, employment. And one of the big things that I preach is being flexible and open-minded. Do not have a set way of things that you expect to get. It's very, very If you're not going to be flexible, then you're setting yourself up for failure more. And, and one thing I always say about flexibility is that it's a survival, it's more than just a life skill, it's a survival skill. And if you embrace being flexible, then your goals will survive and your dreams will survive. And if you're going to be rigid, then your dreams and your way of life will die as quicker as it lives. So that's one. And this is also, and sometimes you just have to prepare to make sacrifices when it comes to finding the job that you want to take. Sometimes you just have to, be prepared to bend over back, be prepared to give up, structures and routines, structures in, your lifestyle, because it's really, more, because what is important is the job or the task that is going to determine your overall survival. So that's something that I preach a lot, and just be prepared to, learn like coping skills and, work, just be prepared to, be more open-minded. And it's really, and if you have all those things, then if you have those things, then you'll find that you'll get your employment much quicker than anybody expected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point. So then for our last question, it basically gives you a chance to, promote yourself and all the work you're doing. So if anyone wants to get in touch with you, how can they reach out?
Well, I am on social media. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. I am on Twitter. My username on Twitter is GoDistance3562. Instagram, GoInTheDistance3562. And then I am also I am a contributing author to the book, This is Autism, by Jessica Lightwise and Aidan Allman Cooper. So if you would like to obtain a copy from Amazon.com and have me sign you a copy at a future in-person event, please let me know, and I'll be happy to sign you a copy. And also, if you're in the Boca Raton area and are listening to this interview, I will be actually signing copies of This is Autism at Unicorn Children's Foundation's monthly Family Fun Night on Wednesday, July 27th from 5:30 to 7:30. So come on over and take in what Unicorn Children's Foundation has to offer and get a signed copy of This is Autism at the same time.
That's awesome. Okay, I'll be sure to link all of your social medias, and I'll link the book in the caption of the platforms that we post this on, so people can reach out that way. And in lieu of that, that concludes our Mentra Moment segment, unless there's anything else you want to say.
Before I forget, my website, Going the Distance, is Jeff Snyder, Autism, Neurodiversity, Self-Advocate.wordpress.org.
Perfect. Okay, I'll also link that there too, so people can check you out there. So yeah, that concludes our Mentra Moment segment with Jeff. Thank you so much for joining us. And on that note, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.